Have you ever bought a video game only to have it become unplayable later down the line? Well, you're not alone. This is a growing problem, but there is a new campaign that's trying to stop it, which is awesome, by the way. Traditionally, video games were sold as physical products, like a book or a movie. You bought the game and it was yours to play forever. But increasingly, well, I guess not forever. It depends on how long the console lasted and that sort of thing. But effectively, you didn't have any worry about it just being ripped away from you. But these days, games require an internet connection to function, even for single player modes. Like, you don't need internet connection, but they're forcing it upon us. Now, this not necessarily a bad thing, but it easily can be, because that means the publisher, not the player, has control over whether or not the game is playable. Now, I say it's not necessarily a bad thing to require internet connection because you can get updates and that sort of stuff. But in terms of like, you need to have an internet connection just to play a single player local game, that is ridiculous. And that's not related to what this particular thing is, but that's another thing that's annoying about the video game industry. Moving on, recently, Ubisoft shut down the servers for a game called The Crew. So even if you bought the game, you can't play it anymore. The Crew had millions of players, and it wasn't that old of a game. Sadly, this isn't the first time this has happened, and it likely won't be the last, because this has become a growing trend, especially among AAA titles. So what's being done about this? Well, Ross Scott from the Accursed Farms YouTube channel, I think I said that right, is launching a new campaign called stopkillinggames.com. This is awesome. This is a push for governments to take action against this. Basically, it's anti-consumerism. This campaign argues that shutting down games like The Crew is unfair to consumers and hurts the preservation of video games as a whole. They're launching petitions in the UK, Canada, and Australia, with plans for more to come. And the biggest effort is in France, though, because France is the home country of Ubisoft, and that's kind of nice because for us gamers, since France is a country with one of the most robust laws for consumer protection. So thanks Ubisoft, I guess, for providing such a great basis for fighting this awful practice, and also being in a country that makes it possible. So anyway, this is a complex issue. Publishers argue that maintaining servers for old games is expensive, but gamers point out that many of these games could still function offline. And even if they did need servers, they could at least set it up where we as gamers could spin up our own servers to play with our friends and that sort of stuff. And some people are saying that shutting them down is a way to force players to buy new titles. Now, I think it isn't fair to force a company to support a game perpetually, like in perpetuity, because nothing can really have a lifespan of forever. But at the very least, the gamers should be able to play the games they bought, even if it requires local only or setting up their own server. That's just my opinion. So I'm really happy about this campaign. The practice of removing the ability to play a game that someone paid for is not only unethical, it's basically lying, because that's not purchasing. That's called renting. In fact, some people might even call it theft, because they say that companies are taking people's money under false pretenses. And I fully support this campaign at stopkillinggames.com, but unfortunately, I am based in the United States, and I did not purchase the Crew game. So, as explained by Ross in the video, which I will link in the show notes, I won't be able to do much more than spread the word about this campaign. So that's what I'm doing, as much as I can. And hopefully, people who are in the audience may be able to do something about it, because if you purchased the game, The Crew, then you could help with this campaign. And in some countries, you can help even if you didn't purchase it, just not here in the USA like myself. So anyway, good luck, Ross, and mad respect for the massive amount of effort this has already taken and will continue to take. So much appreciated, sir. Thanks for watching this clip from my show, This Week in Linux. If you like it and want to see more, then check out this episode of Twill.